Your work colleagues are not.
They are not your friends. They are not. Canada thrives on your tuition fee. Just in case you don't know, you need to know how to also do office politics. You need to know how to like do high service.
Be diplomatic.
Hey guys, welcome to yet another video. As you can see today, I have a beautiful guest, Onyeka. She's about to introduce herself, but before we get to that, if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe below, give this video a thumbs up, and go check out Onyeka's channel as well. So Onyeka, do you want to do your formal introduction? Or should I introduce you?
Hey guys, what is up? My name is Onyeka and I'm a Nigerian Canadian YouTuber. I live in Ontario, Canada, and today Bisola is going to feature me on her channel, so
get ready. Today we are talking about common mistakes new immigrants make in Canada and how you can avoid them.
Yeah. So if you're interested in knowing more about this topic, stick around and don't go anywhere, okay?
Period. Number one, go for it, girl. Tell them.
Yeah, so we're just going to dive right into it. So the first point we're going to be talking about would be isolating yourself when you come to Canada. And I feel like every time I feel immigration related videos, I always have to say this doesn't just apply to Canada. It can be whatever country
anywhere
you're immigrating
world,
to.
yeah.
So yes, isolating yourself.
Another story.
Bisola, did you go through depression when you came to Canada?
Guy, I didn't school here, so you know that mine was harder. And coming here, it wasn't long then we got into lockdown, COVID-19. So making friends in Canada at that point in time was very, very hard. And I feel like if you go to school, I always say that people have it a little bit easier because you get to make friends with your classmates, your schoolmates, and you have time. But for PR, you're just straight into the job market.
True, but for me, when I came, I was like an introvert. I'm still an introvert. I'm just trying. If you like, don't give me that look. I'm just trying to, be out there intentionally. So when I came, I went through this whole phase of culture shock. Like, what is this? Like, that who sent me moment. I went through that phase. My classmates, they were foreigners. Like, I couldn't relate to them, so I couldn't really be friends. Like, we're friends in the classroom, but when, like, at home, when I'm by myself, I didn't have anybody. And I think I would say I was guilty of this particular point. I isolated myself. Throughout the entire period I went to school, I didn't go to church, which I know it's a good way to get integrated into the community. Yeah. I didn't go to church, so I was just class to house. And my program was very intense, so whatever little time I had to myself, I just wanted to be by myself. I just wanted to be on my own, and I isolated myself, and it was not helpful. I went through that phase of depression. I used to cry.
And you regret coming to this country. You ask yourself, why am I here? I want to go back home.
That whole sent me moment. Like, I remember in class then, because we had like our name placard like in front of us. I used to stare at my name like, why are you here? Like, and then when my friends call me from home and they're having
to pretend that you are okay.
Tears will be rolling. And then I remember one time my mom called. As I heard her voice, tears just started pouring. But I didn't let her know that I was crying. I didn't want them to worry about me. But I went through that phase, and I feel like if you are just immigrating to Canada, whatever country you find yourself in, and you're going through this phase, it's normal. But what we're here to talk about today is how to correct
how you can avoid them, how you can do better. For example, you can try to join a community, like Facebook group, or church, social media, even religious gathering. Yeah. Even like try to reach out as well, because sometimes, trust me, that other person is thinking about the same thing. Yeah. I've come to find out that most people, they want to interact, but they don't know how to start. So if you feel like you just have a little bit of confidence, you can try to reach out, because that other person also really wants to have a conversation with you. They just don't know how to get into it.
If you can smile.
Yeah.
If you are strong in your face,
smile. Yeah.
Nobody will come and meet you. But yes, so also like go for like networking events, go for like social gatherings in your school. Like, I know schools, they do
all those things. And also keep in touch, because people make friends and they don't keep in touch, and that's how you lose friends. Because what's the whole point of meeting somebody, trying to make new connections and everything, and you don't keep in touch? There's no point. I mean, I know that sometimes you try to reach out to people and they don't return the same energy, which is understandable, but at least try from your own end. I saw that video online of that girl that was crying, that she couldn't cry. She was crying secretly. She was like, I'm so sad, I'm so lonely, I'm so depressed.
People don't tell you about moving to Canada.
I feel so lonely. That video is very sad because a lot of us that live here, we can relate.
We understand.
And people back home, it was so painful because they can't relate to you. They feel like, oh, come back home now if you don't like
honestly,
it that much.
If I was in Nigeria and I watched that video, I would feel the same. I'd be like, why is this one crying? Come back home. But the thing is, you don't know until you've lived that experience. You will not know. Like, you know, there's that popular saying, "Who not go, not know." You need to, like, also we need to empathize with people.
Yeah.
I know that video, some people were like laughing at her.
They say come back home if you know that.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's exchange stuff like that. But the truth is, people are going through that. Yeah. And then we can only just try to support them. So I
understand from their own point of view. If you don't have any experience, just keep your mouth shut.
Wool up, just wool up.
Yeah. And even some of your friends will be experiencing the same thing. Will you tell them, come back home if you don't want to go? You actually won't say that.
You don't say that. So be more sensitive to people's feelings. Next is not asking questions. Because you have already isolated yourself, you don't know who to ask questions. You cannot reach out to people. And the best way to succeed in Canada is by getting the right information at the right time. Yeah. If you don't try to connect with people, then they don't give you the latest info, what is happening in town. And that's the way you are slacking.
Yeah, honestly. You need to, that's why I was saying, you need to try and make friends, ask questions. You need to talk to people. Like, for example, if you're in school, you know nothing about the school campus or the school system. There's always like an advisor, like a career or something. What's that word? Like, it's not a guidance counselor, but I'm going to use the word a guidance counselor. So reach out to those people. They will tell you the next steps, like things that you can do to even break out of that situation. I remember when I was going through this whole sad phase, and then we had like learning teams. So while I was in school, the school put us in groups, like groups of 5 or 6 people to work with, and your entire academics is tied to that particular group. And then I wasn't pulling my weight enough, like when it came to like projects and assignments, and I had to communicate. I had to tell my team members that this is what I'm going through. Guys, I'm struggling. I don't know how to do this research paper you guys are talking about, because out of my group members, I was the only immigrant. The rest of people were Canadians.
Wow.
I struggled a lot. So I was asking like my
teammates
and my team advisor, like there was someone that was like a professor was also in charge of us. I was asking her like, what can I do to break out of this particular phase? And she gave me some resources, which they were helpful, but I didn't use it.
But at least you had that option. You had that resource there. And
so the whole point I'm trying to say is open up.
Yeah.
Talk about your struggles.
Your problems, yeah.
So when I told my classmates what I was going through, they understood me, and then they started giving me parts that I had strengths in. Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah, and even schools usually have like this mental health support group
to reach out.
All these things that if you are struggling, or if you even need like a therapist or something, they always have all of that. So you can take advantage of the fact that those resources are available for you. Speak to someone that would help you that will answer your questions. And if you need a coach or something, just make sure that you are not facing all your problems by yourself and bottling it. Because
it will not help you in any way.
It will not help you.
So you talked about resources. So when I told my teammates and my advisor that I was struggling in writing, they now provided me with like a writing class or something to take, because the school offers like a writing course for people. I didn't do it too, but at least they offered it.
It was there for you. And Canada has all this community organization, because when I was coming for newcomers, they had all those things that they sent to you. Take advantage of them. They help me with my resume, they help me with my LinkedIn profile, they help me position myself for job search. They can even connect you with like recruiters and all those things. So if those resources are there for you, my dear, utilize them. Ask for help when you can. Don't feel like you are alone. Don't feel like you're an island and you can figure out all your problems. And that's the thing with us human beings. We always feel like we have to do things just by ourselves. But no, the reason we are social beings is because we cannot live in isolation. We need everyone else to help us grow. So make sure that you're asking questions whenever you need to. And I'm not saying that you should not do your own homework first. To do your research. It's not the one that you come and be asking people
dumb questions,
like silly questions. Make sure that you've done your research and you have gotten to the point where that yes, you now need support and you have helped yourself to an extent. Not that you depend heavily or 100% on somebody. Nobody's your parents. They will not spoon feed you. They will not hold your hand. Thank you.
So next we're going to be talking about living beyond your means. I understand that, for example, this is with regards to location, like settling down. I understand that everyone wants to live in the big cities. Everybody wants to live in Toronto, Vancouver, you know, the big cities. But it is not for everyone.
It's not though.
Please, don't go and break.
Everybody must not be in Toronto.
Exactly. And this is, for example, related to permanent residents. I mean, if you're a student, where your school
is where you have to go. And even when you're done with your school, you don't need to feel like you need to quickly.
No, again, even if you school in Toronto and you find that it's too expensive for you, you're not a tree. You
can move.
And then let's say you're schooling somewhere else that's not expensive. You don't always have to move to Toronto. I understand that there are more job opportunities in metropolitan cities and everything, but please try to live beyond your means. Don't go broke
within your means.
What did I say?
You said beyond.
Sorry.
Try to live within your means.
Please, pardon me, live within your means. Don't go above your means, please. Don't try to please anybody, because when the bills come, it's only your bill too.
You come to Canada now. Next thing, you are financing a car. Next thing, you're getting the latest phone. You're living in a high-rise apartment. Before I could afford living in a high-rise apartment, I've been here for 4 years.
You stay in basement?
Who did not stay in basement? I stayed in basement, stayed in shared apartment, do all these things, have roommates. It's very, very normal. It's a phase. You will get to that point in time where you can afford the kind of lifestyle that you deserve. But don't feel like you have to do it right
immediately, like as you are landing.
Buy yourself time. Because if you see, as I am, like if I decide to go get Tesla car tomorrow, they will sell it to me. They will give it to you. You'll be paying for the next 7 years or the next 10 years. But you don't need to feel like you need to put yourself into debt just because you want to live a certain lifestyle. And for the most part, you're just trying to impress people that don't even care about you. So why do you feel like you need to borrow money and go all this way? Or even using, what did we call it the other time? Paying for. Buy now, pay later. Why? Just because you want to buy the latest designer bag is unnecessary.
I remember when I came, I lived in a shared apartment. I had roommates. When I was coming, I was like, I want to get my own apartment. When I saw the price, I said, Biko, I will share apartment. I lived with 3 other people, so there were 4 of us in an apartment. Afterwards, I stayed in the basement apartment. I stayed in the high-rise apartment before finally getting my own home.
Your own space.
So life is in stages and phases.
Take your sweet time. There's no need to rush. Plan and save, manage your finances. Especially if you're coming as a student, you still have a long way to go. So manage your money.
It's okay to share.
It's okay to share.
It's okay.
It's very, very. See, don't feel like, I know that it's not everybody that you can live with. But just manage.
For the time being,
it's just a matter of time.
If you can afford to live on your own, that's fine. Lucky you.
Which brings me to my next point, which is credit cards. Credit cards is very important. It's a very significant part of life in Canada. You also need to learn financial education. In Western world in general, you need to learn financial education. Financial literacy is key. I find that some immigrants don't use their credit card and some overuse their credit card, which both of them could be a problem. If you're not using your credit card, then you will not build your credit history. You will not build your credit report, and you would not. And credit history is very, very important for you in Canada.
Do you know, when I first came, I was scared of using the credit card. I had one, but I was like, I don't want to borrow money. But that itself, like you said, is also a problem. But I rather have that problem than to max out my credit cards.
But the thing is, both of them affects your credit score in the same way.
So then I had not built anything. But it was when I realized that, okay, you need to spend this, like you need to take money, put it back and ahead.
For it to grow, for
me to have a credit history.
So for the most part, obviously, I agree with you. Like, you rather have a problem of not using it, because if you don't spend the money, then you are not in debt or in burden to actually pay. But then try to use it, but use it responsibly. Try to not overutilize your credit card. The ideal usage should be within 30% of the credit card limit. So try as much as you can to pay on time, understand the financial system here, and if you find yourself in situations where you don't understand, again, go back to asking questions. Call your bank advisor, book a meeting with them. They are definitely happy to answer all of the questions that you potentially could have.
You know, something that popped up while you were talking about it, something I learned about this country is that you need to learn how to push back. Like, it comes from asking questions, but push back. For example, let's say let me use school for example. Let's say, okay, they tell you, oh, you don't qualify for this thing. Sometimes add a bit of pressure, like give a reason why you think you qualify for something.
Give them reason. Try to support your claim with evidences and all these things. And don't just accept no. Don't just accept no all the time.
When they tell you no, push back,
because it works all the time. We're still talking about something earlier, right? It works all the time. And when you try to push back, you now find that they accept. Then you will now realize that you could have accepted nothing or the barest minimum, whereas that potential was there for you if you didn't push back. So that's something that a lot of immigrants make, and it's because it comes from a place of we are scared. We feel like we should be privileged to even be here or have that opportunity to even stand in front of people, whereas you are overqualified to even be here. The fact that you are paying school fees is more than enough for you to be here, because
full tuition, no loans.
Canada thrives on your tuition fee, just in case you don't know. So the fact that you're here alone,
you're helping the government.
You are important to the system.
You're investing in the government.
So don't feel like you are privileged to be here. You deserve it.
Always
don't be scared.
Back. Even in school, especially in school, push back. Let's say you're not able to meet a deadline. They say, oh, you can't submit. Let's say there was a legitimate reason as to why you could not meet up with that deadline. Let the professor know, and you see they'll make
they'll make their exceptions for you.
They will.
They would accept. So
I remember I had a friend that said she couldn't submit the assignment because she's going through a breakup, and they let her submit the assignment later.
And lastly, not ready to unlearn and relearn. And this one is my favorite topic, because a lot of immigrants, a lot of newcomers, they are struggling with being fit at work. You see, they could fire you and tell you things like you're not culturally fit, and you'll be wondering, what does it mean to be culturally fit?
It means so many things, actually.
It means so many things. And sometimes you see some people, they make some weird comments to people at work, or even people in general, and you're wondering, like, how do you even speak like that? In Nigeria, where we come from, you can talk to somebody, you can call somebody, look at how you're fat.
Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Let me say it in English. You can tell somebody that, look at how you are fat. Why are you eating like that? Make some nasty comment. But here, you have to be very, very careful. Your choice of words, you have to be very careful with it. You can't give unsolicited advice. The way things work here, you have to be ready to change some mentality, abandon them at the airport before you fly into this country.
To be honest, I feel like I had to unlearn and relearn certain things.
A lot of things you would have to.
I remember there was a time in school, a friend of mine had this situation going on, and I asked a question that, thinking about it now, it was very inappropriate. And then when I asked that question, she just said, I'm not comfortable answering. And I didn't understand why, but that was like my early days. But now I'm like, oh my God, why did I ask that kind of question? You also have to be emotionally intelligent.
Very, very important.
Emotional intelligence is something not a lot of people have.
A lot of us from our background, we actually don't have it.
It's something I'm learning in my adulthood.
Our culture doesn't teach us emotional intelligence. Some soft skills are very, very important. Emotional intelligence is one of it. Like, you would think that knowing the job or having technical skills will take you really far. No, it's your soft skills that will take you even the farthest. You need to know how to also do office politics. You need to know how to, like, do high service.
Be diplomatic.
You need to be diplomatic about things. You see somebody and they greet you. You have to, like, be friendly, have a smile on your face, be receptive. Have those conversations. And when you're even doing your coffee chat, you need to be careful with the kind of question you're asking. Don't get relaxed and just feel like they're my best friend.
Your work colleagues are not
your friends. They are not. Did you even say that? You think it's like I was so deep. It's like we're feeling it.
See, they can be nice people, no doubt, but be careful with people you work with, because see that email to HR,
they will type it the quickest. It's the quickest email you would have ever seen.
So you need to be careful. You need to speak. I'm trying to find the right words. Like,
choose your words.
Speak intelligently. You don't always have to, even if you disagree with a certain opinion, and sometimes they will just ask you, what's your thoughts?
If you feel like you're not comfortable with it, just tell them, I'm not comfortable discussing that topic.
Or you don't even have to say anything. Just be like, well, I don't really have anything to say.
I don't have a perspective, or just be in between.
And there are some certain sensitive topics in societies today, so just be careful with those topics. Even though you feel a certain way about those topics,
don't say anything. People are very sensitive here, so your choice of words really, really, really matters. And there's also another thing I want to mention in terms of driving. You know the way we drive in Nigeria, we are driving like,
I don't think I can drive in Nigeria. I can't.
We're trying to end it all.
Help me, help me, me. If they carry me, they go where I don't know.
But here, they drive the opposite way. If you've seen my video, I did my G2 4 times. I passed only on the 4th attempt, yes. Because in Nigeria, I was driving anyhow. See, most people that I've seen, they do their test multiple times. It
comes back to unlearn and relearn.
Yeah, because
so you need to unlearn those bad habits.
Bad driving skills. We tailgate a lot. We switch lanes anyhow. We're just very reckless when it comes to driving.
Everything that you're doing in this car, you are going to feel it naturally.
But here, there's like rules. There's like things that you need to follow.
They mean something.
And you can't just be driving anyhow.
You know, in some places in Nigeria, like where I grew up in Warri, they don't use the traffic lights. It's red, they're passing.
So that kind of behavior,
I didn't pick up bad habits. I didn't drive in Nigeria that much, so I didn't really pick up the bad habits. So I learned at first here, so I did my G2 just twice.
Yeah, some of us did it 4 times and it cost a lot of money. So you have to be careful when it comes to like your life here. Life is all about learning and growing. So it's very important for you to be intentional about learning. Be very, very okay with unlearning those things that you have before and picking up new things. Even in a family, if you are married, husband support your wife, you're not back home where you could afford to have maids and all those things.
I was going to add that it's okay if you don't know something. That's why you need to ask questions. It's okay not to know.
You don't have to have it all figured out.
Yeah,
you don't need to have it all figured out.
Exactly. Like you're not a know-it-all person. So ask those questions.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, unlearn and relearn. Things are quite different here. For example, people that moved like with kids from Nigeria here, they're not able to come here with their maids or
chef, cleaner, all those things.
You have to do things. Husband and wife, you have to both get down and you need to work hand in hand with. You need to complement each other, support each other. You need to do everything. Like there's no maid that will help you, watch the kids now.
Yeah.
Husbands, you have to learn how to change diapers. It's not just a one-person duty.
No more your wife's job. It's a both of you's job.
You need to learn how to babysit. It's different now. So I know a couple of people who have refused to move to Canada or a different country because they just
scared.
Like they can't just do without the help.
And
it's valid. It's understandable.
I understand you 100%. Because you're by yourself. There's nobody to. There's no living.
No family.
No, I beg. They come. I want to go market. That you leave your child with. No.
Even parents. Even if our parents. Sometimes parents they're still working. We're in the age where the parents are supposed to be watching our kids. They are working.
They're busy.
They're still working.
They are still making money too. So.
And then, especially if you're living in a place where you don't have a lot of friends or families that you can leave your kids with.
Yeah. So you have to do it by yourself. So this is something. This is a very, very huge topic.
Of DIY.
A lot of DIY.
Yeah.
You want to fix furniture. Furniture will come in different pieces. You have to become your own
assemble
carpenter.
Everything.
You become your own personal electrician,
plumber, everything.
You'll be the one doing your nails, doing your hair, doing all these things by yourself that you normally would have paid somebody how much to help you with. You have to be ready to learn. Pick up new skills, and I always encourage people to actually learn them before moving abroad. So when it's time that you know that I'm moving within the next few months, if it's for you to learn catering, how to make hair, how to do all these few things that would really, really help you, even if you don't do them for money when you come here, it would really help you with settling.
You can also watch YouTube.
YouTube helps a lot.
A lot of tutorials on YouTube. YouTube is your best friend. Honestly,
maximize it.
Exactly.
I feel like YouTube is underrated.
It is. Honestly, I always Google the simplest things like how to
do this.
It's there.
There's a video already.
If you're thinking about it, somebody has already thought about it. That's the truth. Still in the grand scheme of things of unlearning and relearning, we come from a place where mental health is not that big of a deal. Like they always brush it to the side, but over here, mental health is a huge thing.
Very important.
I'm a mental health nurse, so I know what I'm talking about.
You know what you're talking about, yeah. Because this place can get depressing, can get very lonely. Outside now is already dark and it's 5 p.m.
Like I mentioned earlier, I went through that depressive phase when I first came. That was the first time I was really in touch with my mental health. I'm like, why am I always so sad in the morning? Like when I wake up, I never really understood it. And people actually advised me talk to a therapist. Although I didn't officially talk to a therapist, but I had friends that I was talking to just opening up, which helped. Okay, so it's okay to feel down and sad sometimes. So, but one thing you should not do is stay down. Be willing to talk to people, seek for help. Okay, there are online therapists everywhere. You can go to your walk-in clinic and tell them to connect you with with someone to talk to.
Don't feel like seeing a therapist is a bad thing. I feel like from where we come from, it has this stigma, like,
like
why are you using, like there's something wrong with you, like what is your therapist doing? Like they are just telling you what you want to hear. I don't think so. Therapy is very, very important.
It's very helpful. You're talking to someone that's not going to judge you, that will give you an unbiased opinion. Yeah, so it's very helpful.
I'll help you see things from a different perspective and will help you grow. So don't see it as, if yes, I know that it's stigmatized where we come from, but don't see it that way. That's part of dropping old knowledge that you have and picking up new things, knowing that if you are struggling mentally, if you are going through a depressing phase of your life, speak to someone, speak to a professional, seek help, and
So next we're going to be talking about conducting thorough research before making that move. And by research, it encompasses a couple of topics. I'll definitely advise you to even start your research way early before coming, as in you can be more intentional about where you want to school. If you think Toronto might be too expensive for you to survive, go to a different province. Ontario is not the only province.
Exactly, it's not.
So you can even go to schools in whatever province in a cheaper city, just because you're short on cash and that's what you're able to afford, and that's fine. Even with regards to wherever you want to live, wherever you want to start a family, always research, like, okay, what's the cost of living in this city? What's the like the job opportunities in this area and stuff like that. How much does a house cost?
And even in terms of like choosing the school and the program that you want to go for, remember that coming to Canada as a student is not the end for you. Your end goal would be probably to become a citizen or getting your permanent residency. So you can also consider the fact that you would still have to apply for your permanent residency and be strategic about the province or the kind of school that you're going for. So if it's a place that will give you the opportunity, like Atlantic Canada, for example, I know that they have a lot of immigration pathways there. So take advantage of that and school in those kind of places, rather than feeling like you have to spend a lot of money or all the money in the bank just because you want to school in Ontario.
Yeah, true. And please, if you're choosing schools, please make sure you choose a program that will grant you a work permit afterwards, because not all programs have that. And then be sure to remember that, is it a 1-year work permit or a 3-year work permit? If you get 1 year, you are short of time. It's possible you can get your permanent residency. People have done it. Be sure that you can survive within that 1 year period, because it's very tight. It's very tight and can be
that's why you have to do your research. You have to do enough research. You have to get as much information as possible and don't make drastic decisions. Right? If you need to reach out to people to ask questions, that's the word. Make the informed decisions. Don't just make decisions based on
what everybody is doing.
What if maybe it will work, maybe it will sink. No. This is abroad. This is not back home. You have to make the right decision and be intentional, because you'll find that you make a decision and it will affect your life within the next 3 years. It will take so long to correct. So be very, very careful with that. And lastly, avoid getting stuck in survival job. I know that when you come to Canada, there's always that phase where you just get a simple menial job just to get by life, but don't get stuck in that kind of job. That's literally not the reason why you came here. You came here for a better life, and you don't want to be stuck doing survival job for the rest of your life here. Try to put yourself out there. Try to get as much knowledge as you can, obtain new skills, get new education, new certification, new degree, or whatever it is that would help you land better high-paying jobs. Go for it. Don't feel like because you already started a specific kind of job or in a specific
field, feel very comfortable.
You have to get stuck here. Don't get comfortable, because that's not what you want, and you know that's not what you want. So why are you accepting the barest minimum?
If you have that licensed profession degree from Nigeria, just try to get that same license here in Canada, because licensed profession, like, they pay definitely better than any minimum wage.
And if you even get a job, don't feel like you need to be stuck in that job forever and ever. Try to bounce around, because that's the only way you can increase your pay. They only increase salary by 2-3% every year. So the only way for you to actually grow your salary by 20% or 30% would be to move between companies. And that's your best bet. So keep bouncing, go around. Especially if you are even in the early stage of your career, why not? That's the best thing you can do to grow to senior level, managerial role, director roles. And it's very, very important for you to be intentional in growing your career if that's something that you want to do.
Well said, Bisola, well said. So guys, there we have it. If you also have some other points to add in the comment section, please feel free to add them. We'll be there responding to all of your comments. Okay, so wrap it up.
Like Onyeka said, I want to know what are those mistakes that you have seen newcomers or new immigrants make. Let other people learn from you. Leave them below. We want to read from you. Anyway, that's all for this video. Go check out the video that we made on Onyeka's channel and make sure you subscribe if you are yet to do so. We have upcoming videos that are totally fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.